Hi, I'm Lucie. I'm a conceptual artist based in Hampshire in the United Kingdom. I was born in Winchester and raised in my early years in a little town called Eastleigh, which is between Southampton and Winchester. I was born to very young parents who separated soon after I was born, and I moved around a lot when I was a child, living in London for around 7 years before moving back to Hampshire when I was 11 years old. My childhood and early teen years were not particularly conventional, and I carried a lot of trauma into my later life as a result. This, however, did eventually form the foundation of my journey into making art. I started out as a photographer and decided to apply to university at 21 on a whim, as I didn't have any A-levels or equivalent. I ended up getting in, to my surprise, and made the decision to move from photography to fine art halfway through the year at what was then Plymouth College of Art, now Arts University Plymouth. This was a pivotal point in my life and led to a continuous journey of discovery and transition. I always loved art as a child and at secondary school, but due to what I would say is an ever-flawed early arts education system, I never really felt good enough to pursue it beyond that. I remember being so confused and shocked at how differently art was taught at university in comparison to in standard education. And it was absolutely life-changing to discover all of the aspects of art that I'd never heard about before, that I deeply resonated with. For example, I had no idea about abstract, conceptual or contemporary art, which is absolutely where my practice falls into. And I remember being completely confused by the fact that I'd never been taught it before. So I feel really thankful to my tutors at Arts University Plymouth for the ways in which they shared knowledge with me and showed me a completely new realm of art. A lot of elements of mine and my family's past and beyond that I'd never really examined. I guess you wouldn't until you were in those sorts of areas of exploration. Art, self and life became fluid and have remained so ever since, and I cannot imagine my life without it now. I really don't know how I functioned before I discovered art and its endless possibilities. I am so thankful for my discovery because it's helped me so much to work through many things within my life that without it I probably would not be in the headspace or general life experience that I am in at the moment. So it has a lot to answer for, that's for sure. As my personal journey has developed, so has my work, and my practice has naturally settled within an ethos of personal and collective storytelling. I am fascinated by objects and their history, folklore, archaeology, derelict places, and the human condition, and there is always a particular focus on traces and the overlooked. There is a deep forensic element to my work and process, which makes a lot of sense as I spent a lot of my childhood wanting to be a forensic scientist until I realised I was terrified of blood. Theoretical research is integral to my practice and within my process. Specific studies within philosophy, psychology, art theory and psychoanalysis, as well as archival, historical and scientific research are interwoven within my material and written explorations. The notions of memory and empathy are integral to my practice, and there is often a dance between mediums as well as intense research and hibernation periods. The nature of my work often means that rest, recharge and reflection is just as important as the making and creating aspects. My practice generally flows between intricate sculptures, immersive cross-disciplinary installations, photography, stitch and paper-based works, painting and poetic filmmaking. I've always adored Rachel White-Read's work, and of course Bourgeois and Emin will always be important to me. The discovery of Cathy Wilkes' work for the British Pavilion at the 2019 Venice Biennale was incredibly influential. Mona Hatoum, Francesca Woodman, Cornelia Parker, Eva Hess, Marlene Dumas, Phoebe Boswell, Ansam Kiefer, Miroslav Balka, Edvard Munch. The list could go on. They are all extremely wonderful artists whose work has and continue to inspire me. Since March 2023, I have had a studio at the Arches in Southampton, run and managed by A Space Arts. My studio acts as my little escape corner, and I love to paint and just generally hang out in there. I've been working on a few smaller hanging sculptures since moving in, and I have spent quite a bit of my time painting. Looking forward, I'm continuing to work with the carpet from my maternal grandparents' house that was in the children's bedroom for over 35 years, which included 2 generations of children. I have had this in my possession for over a year now, and it has become part of the furniture in some strange way, which has travelled down from Plymouth in my old studio with me back down to Southampton, near home. I've sat with it for quite a long time and created smaller exploratory works using samples since it came into my possession. And recently I've been considering and planning a larger scale project that will utilise the entirety of the carpet in order to produce a large scale sculpture, which I'm hoping to have formulated within the next year. It's going to be quite a lot of work and will involve me travelling across the country to different places where I've lived, collecting objects from the environment and around the areas that I've lived in many places across the country. So that is going to be a really heavy aspect to the research and planning, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it all comes together. At the moment, I'm also working on a project alongside the local arts collective Zing that I've been working with since moving back to Southampton. We are working in collaboration with the archaeology department in Southampton. Again, the project is in its early stages, but we're looking to culminate our collective works in an exhibition in 2024, all being well. I've spent a lot of time at the archives recently in Winchester, and I'm hoping to make some trips to the Southampton archives in the next month to collect more research, very much in the early stages at the moment. But I have got a few exciting ideas up my sleeve, so I'm super excited to get stuck in with those. Advice I would give to my younger self is to just follow your heart and carry forward every idea, no matter what advice and criticism you receive from others. I'm a massive believer that all work is part of the development process, no matter where it comes from, who it's influenced by, or what it looks like. And it's so important to try out things and make mistakes and keep just working through the motions, no matter what it looks like or where it comes from. I think it's really easy to get stuck in a little cycle of wanting to make work that other people will accept or other people will like, but actually that is so not what art is about. And I think, just going with it, regardless of what feedback you're going to receive, is the best advice I could give. In terms of unconventional mediums or techniques that I've used in my work, I suppose I have used a lot of different unconventional mediums and techniques. I've used gypsum plaster designed for interior walls of houses and buildings, concrete, polyfiller and dental plaster in my work, as well as human hair, dead insects, bone, dirt and other natural materials. I believe that the direction of the work should not be limited by just standard and traditional mediums available, and experimenting with new techniques and materials is definitely key to an idea's evolution and realisation. I definitely prefer to listen to music when I work, although some periods of making call for complete silence. I have curated some playlists that I love to paint to, which are generally slow, ambient and quiet. Sometimes I like to mix it up a bit and listen to drum and bass, jungle or heavy metal, amongst other things, which interestingly does actually affect my output, particularly if I'm painting. I don't think I can pinpoint the best reaction someone has had to my artwork. I've had many fascinating conversations and kind feedback, as well as receiving deeply thought out questions and perspectives. I really appreciate every reaction that I've received and continue to do so. And I think it's quite difficult to pick out a specific reaction that I've had. I think any reaction, whether it's positive or negative, is helpful and lovely. So definitely appreciative of anyone that responds to my work. I am interested in the way people respond to and interact with my work, particularly as it is always unique to each person. My hope is to shine a light on the often overlooked within our world and to provoke inward thought and offer a pause and time for reflection. I hope that my work can offer people a different perspective and for them to be able to spend some time thinking inwardly about their own experience of their world and how connections can be made between each of our narratives. Thank you so much, Stan, for approaching me to talk about my art practice and for anyone who has listened to this interview. As far as upcoming events are concerned for 2023, obviously the year is almost drawing to a close, but I will be at the God's House Tower Christmas market in Southampton selling my artwork and other bits and pieces that I've made. I will be there on the 3rd of December on the Sunday. You can follow me on Instagram, which is at Lucie Smith Art, Lucie spelt with an IE, where you will find information about past exhibitions and research projects, lots of visuals of my work, and you will also be able to stay up to date with what's to come in 2024 and any exhibitions that I will be in during that time. You can also view my full portfolio and more, as well as purchase some of my work and prints on my website, which is luciesmithart.com. Thank you so much again. I really appreciate the opportunity and I hope to hear from some of you soon.